Welcome back to my channel. My name is Blair if you're new here, and today I'm going to take you along with me as I meal prep for the next week. Now this is obviously for just me by myself, but I'm going to make breakfast for 2 weeks actually, because I do prep breakfast sandwiches and I thought I'd show you that because I've mentioned it a few times. And then this week I'll be alternating in chia seed pudding with fruit on top in the morning and maybe a little granola. And I'm also gonna make tuna pasta, which I believe I've shown before, but I'm gonna show you again. This will be my lunch for the whole week. And then I also will catch up tomorrow. I'm gonna make tacos for dinner tomorrow night, and that will probably serve for most of my dinners. And then whatever's left, I'll make salads out of towards the end of the week for like a barbecue chicken salad. But let's get started on breakfast items. And the way I'm gonna do this, I like to start with the breakfast sandwich stuff first because I make the eggs in the oven. And then I'm also gonna get the water boiling for the pasta because obviously you want that cooked and cooled before you start assembling everything. So let's get started with the eggs first and getting the water on the stove. And I forgot to mention, I already preheated the oven to 325 to do the eggs. And I've already greased my casserole dish, which I'll explain a little more on in just a second. Okay, so I'm using a 9x9 casserole dish to do my eggs in today. I'm gonna make 6 eggs because I'm only doing 6 breakfast sandwiches. Last time I did this, I used a 9x13 because I made 12 at one time. And then whisk, obviously, a bowl to do it in. The website, I found like an idea of how to do this. They actually whisked it or mixed it in the casserole dish. I don't like the idea of doing that because it ends up pulling a lot of the olive oil off the dish and then your stuff sticks. I've had that problem in the past. So I do it in a separate bowl. Obviously 6 eggs, some milk, and salt and pepper to taste. And the milk, I only use a little bit just to make them fluffy. Basically, you mix it, pour it into the casserole dish, and then you bake it for between 18 to 22, 24 minutes, depending on your oven. Then you put it in the oven and you bake it for between 18 to 24-ish minutes, depending on your oven. You just want the eggs to set up, and then you let them cool. You want everything to cool before you assemble your breakfast sandwiches because you're gonna put them in the freezer. So let's get the eggs going so I can get those in the oven, and then we'll go on to the next thing I'm gonna do because I like to keep things moving and cleaning up as I go just so I don't have a mess to deal with at the end.
You've been running around in my head. I can't stop drinking about what comes next. Girl, I know you've been let down a couple times. Why don't you go ahead and give us a try? Let me through, yeah. Girl, I dare you to.
Okay, so the eggs are in the oven. I'm still waiting on the water to boil. So I'm gonna clean up what I have here and then probably, oops, sorry, do my chia seed pudding, which is really simple, but that's one we can whip together and throw in the fridge and start getting ingredients together for everything else. So chia seed pudding is really simple. Chia seeds, I use almond milk, and then I use a little bit of maple syrup just for sweetener. And I used to follow a recipe on this, but it never came out right, so I just kind of eyeball a lot of it. But the main components, I do 2 tablespoons chia seeds to a half a cup of milk in each of these little jars, and then I just pour what would be close to a tablespoon of maple syrup. So you throw it all in the mason jar, stir it up, throw them in the fridge overnight. I probably won't eat them till, I usually do Tuesdays and Thursdays are my chia seed pudding or overnight oats because I do alternate each week between the breakfast sandwiches. And when I go to eat this one in particular, I pour it in a bowl. I have bananas and fresh strawberries I'm gonna put on top of it, as well as a little bit of granola that I bought at the grocery store because I have been doing like coconut flakes, kind of like I think it was called Dang. But these ones they're called Bear, but I'm really low on them and Walmart didn't have any more in stock. So this week I thought, well, I'll just do a little bit of granola. It just adds some crunch to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get these assembled. So hopefully I'm done before the water starts boiling.
Closer, closer, and I just wanna hold you, hold you. I wanna wrap you up in my arms. So make some space next to your heart, down and take it slower, slower. And I just wanna show you. And even though you're right next to me, it feels like miles in between. Take a chance, girl, I dare you. Move a little closer, closer. Some things are better.
Okay, as you see, super simple. You do want to kind of stir it a little bit once, because they'll start to settle, but like I said, really easy. You just want to put them in the fridge for a few hours and they kind of thicken up like pudding.
Her left tongue said, let's leave the past in the past, wherever he is. And you got walls built up like Jericho, and I kinda hope that you let it go. Nothing.
Okay, the water is boiling. We're gonna do macaroni pasta. According to the box, a half a cup dry is a serving. I measure intentionally because I don't know if you're like me with pasta, but I'll eat a ton of it if it's not controlled. So by measuring out exactly 5 servings, then I know I have enough for the week and I'm not overeating. And I think it takes like 9 minutes to boil before you want to drain it.
Left to do, girl, I dare you to move a little closer, closer. And I just wanna hold you. I wanna wrap you up.
Okay, so for tuna pasta, I'm gonna use 2 tuna packets. I think I normally do 1, but I bought a bunch last week and didn't use it. Obviously the macaroni pasta, this is my favorite thing to add into it, creamy dill dip, and then some mayonnaise. I have some red onions that were already pre-diced from last week, and then some celery. And I will say that I do recommend that the onions and the celery be chopped finely, otherwise you get huge chunks of it unless you like that. We wait for the pasta to cool down and then we just mix it all together in a bowl, but I'll show you when we do it.
So make some space next to your heart, down and take it slower, slower. And I just wanna show you. And even though you're right next to me, it feels like miles in between. But take a chance, girl, I dare you. Move a little closer, closer. Move a little closer, closer. Not in a rush, can't get enough, baby, it's cool. We're doubling down, cause now you're daring me to move a little closer.
Just to show you this, it's still not completely cooked through, like it's still, if you touch it, your finger's getting wet, so I know it needs to be cooked a little longer. So I'm gonna do a few more minutes on this and then we'll start setting up to prep the sandwiches while the pasta's cooling. For the breakfast sandwiches, I'm gonna go ahead and start toasting the English muffins. It wasn't something that was recommended on any sites, but I just prefer it so I know it doesn't get soggy and it still has a little bit of toasting to it. So I just run them through the toaster once and then again let them cool because you want everything nice and cool by the time you assemble. And this week I'm doing English muffins. I've done it with bagels too, same way, and they're pretty good. At the end I'll explain how to like cook them after you froze them. So, and I've been buying the Thomas 100 calorie, 8 grams of fiber English muffins. But you kind of want a nice counter space because I'm going to kind of set up an assembly line as we get things, you know, cooled and ready to go. But I'm going to move you because you're on top of the toaster anyway.
Closer, and I just wanna hold you. I wanna wrap you up in my arms. So make the space, move a little closer, closer, and I just wanna.
So the eggs are better, like if I touch it, I'm not getting, my finger turned white last time, so I knew it wasn't cooked through. but you're gonna let this cool down all the way. And then same thing with the English muffins. So I just kind of like rotate them in and out and then let them cool down until I'm ready to assemble. The other thing I'm going to talk about is the meat that I'm going to use. I bought microwavable bacon. It's easy, it's quick, it's already a time-consuming process to meal prep. If I was feeling really daring, I would do a whole package of bacon in the air fryer, but we're going to do this today. I also do Canadian bacon too sometimes. Kind of makes it like what do they call it? Egg McMuffin from McDonald's. You know, egg, cheese, English muffin, and that. We're doing bacon today. So basically I'm gonna microwave this a little bit and then let it cool so it's ready to go when it's time to assemble. So I'm gonna get this ready. And serving size for this is 2. So I'm gonna do 12 slices, 2 per sandwich. But this is nice because you only have to microwave it for a few minutes. I will say Walmart has microwave bacon that is thick cut, and I mean it was thick cut when I bought it the other week. I was quite impressed, and I would have gotten that, but I bought this on the fly somewhere else. I think at Target or something one day when I was up there because I thought I was out for a different meal.
Hold I wanna wrap you up in my arms. So make some space next to your heart, down and take it slower.
And this you just microwave for like, I don't know, 40 seconds or so. This is cooling. I'm gonna go ahead and get my parchment. Actually, we're gonna move to this counter. Okay, so while those are cooling, I'm gonna get my parchment paper ready for wrapping the sandwiches before you put them in the freezer. So the reason I use parchment paper, because I have attempted to do it with saran wrap as one of the Pinterest recipes I had found said to do it with, but I didn't like it because then when you went to go reheat them, they're wrapped in plastic and you had to take them out and then wrap them in a paper towel so they didn't dry out. I have found with the parchment paper, you can just throw them in the microwave and heat them up and it keeps the moisture in and you don't have to worry about it melting to it. So I'm gonna go ahead and make 6 of these squares so they're ready to go when I'm ready to assemble because it just makes it quicker.
You've been running around in my head. I can't stop drinking about what comes next. Girl, I know you've been let down a couple times. Why don't you go ahead and give us a try? Let me through, yeah. Girl, I dare you to move a little closer, closer. And I just wanna hold you, hold you. I wanna wrap you up in my arms. So make some space next to your heart. Now to take it slower, slower. And I just wanna show you. Even though you're right next to me.
There you have it. 5 servings of tuna pasta. So I definitely try to prepare cold food as much as I can for lunch and something that's quick and easy to grab out of the fridge. I do work from home, but I also have a limited time on my breaks. So I like to make sure it's something I can just pull out and eat. And these are perfect if I'm not doing like a salad or a sandwich that I can make in the morning. So these I'll put the lids on and we'll put them in the fridge, and then we're gonna start on breakfast sandwiches as soon as I wash up these dishes. Again, I try to clean as I go so I don't have a mess at the end.
It feels the miles in between. Take a chance, girl, I dare you.
Okay, so the last little part with this is cheese. I buy the Sargento Ultra Thin because they're lower calories, less that you're gonna be putting on it. And I switched it up. Sometimes I do cheddar, sometimes, well, this week I'm doing Colby Jack. So basically you want to do egg, cheese, meat, and then your English muffin top and bottom. So I put them together and then I wrap them all once I'm done so that way I can clean up what I got. Again, clean up as you go so you don't have a mess at the end. I've also noticed that sometimes folding the cheese kind of in half when you put it on it helps when it comes to the reheat. Because then it's not so thin, but you still get a lot of cheese on it then, or taste on it, I should say.
Move a little closer, closer. better left unsaid. Let's leave the past in the past, wherever he is. And you got walls built up like Jericho.
Now we fold them up. Kind of reminds you of like a McDonald's Burger King breakfast sandwich, the way they're folded. Which fun fact, worked at Burger King for years when I was in high school. So definitely have had experience.
I kinda hope that you let it go. Nothing left to do. Girl, I dare you to move a little closer.
Once you got them all folded up, the best thing to do, put them in a Ziploc bag before you put them in the freezer. I'm just trying to reuse the one that I have. I will say when I did them with the parchment paper like this, it did worry me as soon as I put them in the freezer. I started to see all kinds of frost in the bag. Don't worry about it. It honestly didn't affect the sandwiches at all. So voila, I have 6 breakfast sandwiches now. Like I said, I've done with English muffins, bagels. I've also done it with Canadian bacon on some. I've done different cheeses. Like I said, it took me a little bit of trial and error to figure it out. But the trick with these is you want to pull it out of the freezer the night before and put it in the fridge so it can defrost some. I have found with the English muffin sandwiches that when I go to microwave them the next morning, about 40 seconds is enough. It heats it. You want to be careful about not overheating it because the cheese will melt right off the sandwich. So I definitely prefer the parchment paper because you can put it in the fridge like that and then you just put it on your plate and microwave it. If you do it with the bagels, I have found that 45 seconds is better for those because obviously a bagel is a little thicker than an English muffin. But there you have it. We've made breakfast 6 sandwiches. We've made chia seed pudding and tuna pasta. So tomorrow we'll pick up the rest of it. There's only 2 more things that I'll do. We pretty much washed all the dishes as I went, so there's nothing to clean up now. That stuff can dry and I'll put it away later. But I'll check in with you tomorrow.
And I just wanna hold you. I wanna wrap you up in my arms. So make some space next to your heart. Gotta take it slower, slower. And I just wanna show you. And even though you're right next to me, it feels like miles in between. Take a chance, girl, I dare you.
Okay, so it's Sunday now. As you saw this morning, I did prep my pot of coffee for the week. So I had cold coffee. And at this point, I'm gonna go ahead and prep some of the veggies that need to be chopped up for dinner tonight, and then we'll do the taco meat, which I'm doing ground turkey. Just sounded better than beef this week, so. But we're gonna go ahead and chop up some ingredients. So I got 2 Romas I'm gonna cut up for now. I have a lime I'm gonna slice for just squeezing on top. And then kosher baby dills. Don't knock it till you tried it. I don't know why, but my family grew up having pickles on our tacos and it just tastes good. So I'm gonna go ahead and get chopping these things up and then I'll catch up with you when we get to the meat.
Closer, closer. Move a little closer, closer. Not in a rush, can't get enough, baby, it's cool. We're doubling down, cause now you're daring me to. Move a little closer, closer. And I just wanna hold you. I wanna wrap you up in my arms. So make the space. Move a little closer, closer. And I just wanna hold you. I wanna wrap you up in my arms. So make some space.
So the nice thing about tacos is that you're basically ingredient prepping and then you assemble your taco. So it makes for a great multi-night meal. I'm also going to chop up some lettuce that I've had in the fridge that's already been peeled, but I'm going to chop those up in a little bit. I like to do the lettuce like right before I'm about to assemble my tacos, but I'm going to go ahead and start on the ground turkey.
To your heart, gotta take it slower.
So while I'm prepping that up, I'm actually going to go through and start wiping down counters so I can do my last load of laundry, which is going to be towels. So Sundays, it's just my routine. I finish my meal prep, clean the kitchen, do the last load of laundry, and then I'm prepped for the week.
And even though you're right next to me, it feels like miles in between.
Okay, so here's all the ingredients. I've talked about these before. They're low carb wraps, but they taste just like a regular flour tortilla. Chopped up some lettuce, my limes, tomato, pickles, the turkey meat. And then I have sour cream, Colby Jack shredded cheese, and the salsa verde. So I'm gonna go ahead and assemble a couple tacos for dinner, and then I can put all the food away.
Take a chance, girl, I dare you. Closer, closer. Move a little closer, closer. Yeah, closer, closer.
Here's the final dinner. 2 tacos, some water. Looks very good to me. So I hope you enjoyed getting to meal prep with me and get an idea of some ways to, I guess, make life a little easier throughout the week. But we'll try and do another one again. But I hope everybody has a blessed day.